My beloved soul, something is happening right now that you were not prepared for, and yet it has been prepared for you long before this moment ever arrived. This is not just another message you casually came across. No, this is a divine interruption. A sacred pause in the noise of your life where heaven itself leans closer, where unseen realms shift, and where a powerful presence steps forward to speak directly into your spirit. You may have felt it already, that strange pull, that sudden stillness, that quiet voice within you urging you not to scroll away. That is not coincidence. That is not your imagination. That is the unmistakable signal that something greater than your circumstances is reaching for you. Because at this very moment, Archangel Michael stands near, not as a distant symbol, but as a living force of protection, truth, and divine authority, stepping into your situation with urgency. There are things you have not seen, battles that were never visible to your eyes, forces that tried to influence your path, moments where something almost went wrong but didn't. You thought it was luck. You thought it was chance. But what if I told you that it was intervention? That something, no, someone, has been standing guard over your life, shielding you in ways you could never fully understand. Right now, there is a shift taking place. You are not hearing this by accident. This is a moment that was aligned for you, chosen for you, designed to find you exactly where you are. Whether you are feeling lost, overwhelmed, uncertain, or even numb, this message is cutting through all of that to reach the deepest part of your soul. Because something is about to be revealed that will change the way you see everything. For too long, you may have believed that you were navigating life alone, that the silence meant absence, that the delays meant denial, that the struggles meant you were somehow forgotten. But that belief is about to be shattered completely. There has been a presence walking with you, even in your darkest hours. A protector assigned to your path. A warrior who has not taken their eyes off you, not for a second. And now, that presence is stepping forward, not just to protect but to speak. Feel this moment. Let it settle in your spirit. Because what is about to unfold is not ordinary. It is not casual. It is not something you hear every day. A decree, a powerful, life-altering decree, is about to be released over you. And once it is spoken, nothing in your life will remain the same. Stay here. Listen closely. This is where everything begins. There is something you must understand now, something that may shake you at first, but will ultimately awaken a deep sense of clarity within your spirit. The struggles you have been facing were never random. The heaviness you felt, the confusion that clouded your thoughts, the unexpected delays that seemed to block your path, none of it was without purpose, and none of it was happening in isolation. There has been a hidden battle unfolding around your life, one that your physical eyes could not see, but your spirit has quietly sensed all along. You may remember moments when everything felt strangely off, when decisions became harder than they should have been, when doors that once seemed open suddenly shut without explanation. There were days when your energy felt drained for no clear reason, nights when your mind would not rest, and situations where you questioned your own strength. Those were not just ordinary challenges. Those were signs of resistance, evidence that something valuable within you was being targeted. But here is the truth that changes everything. You were never left unprotected in that battle. Archangel Michael, the divine warrior, had been standing in the unseen realm, confronting what you could not confront, blocking what you could not block, and silencing what you could not even hear. While you were trying to make sense of your circumstances, there was a powerful force ensuring that what was meant to harm you did not succeed. There were moments when things almost fell apart completely, but they didn't. There were situations that could have led you into deeper pain, but somehow, They shifted at the last second. That was not luck. That was intervention. Think about it carefully. How many times have you escaped something you later realized could have been much worse? How many times did a delay frustrate you, only for you to later see that it protected you from a wrong path? How many times did you feel pushed away from something you wanted, only to discover that it was not aligned with your destiny? These were not coincidences. These were strategic movements in a spiritual battle that you were never meant to fight alone. There are forces in this world that thrive on confusion, fear, and doubt. They attempt to whisper lies into your mind, telling you that you are not enough, that you are unworthy, that you are forgotten. They try to make you question your purpose, to weaken your confidence, and to distract you from the path you are meant to walk. And for a time, those whispers may have felt convincing. You may have believed them even partially. But what those forces did not account for was the authority that stands over your life. Archangel Michael does not operate in uncertainty. He does not hesitate. His presence carries divine command, and when he moves, opposition is forced to retreat. The battle around you has not been one-sided. For every attempt to bring confusion into your life, there has been a counterforce restoring clarity. For every moment of fear, there has been a shield placed around your heart. For every delay, there has been a divine recalibration guiding you back toward what is truly meant for you. You were never losing. You were being protected in ways you could not yet understand. And now, as this truth begins to settle within you, something else is becoming clear. The intensity of what you have been experiencing is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of significance. The greater the resistance, the greater the purpose that lies within you. The more intense the battle, the more valuable your path truly is. This is why you could not be left unguarded. This is why Archangel Michael has been present, not just as a distant protector, but as an active force in your life. Every step you have taken, even the uncertain ones, have been watched over. Every moment of doubt hath been met with unseen reinforcement. Every obstacle has been carefully measured against what you are destined to become. And now, something is changing. The hidden battle is no longer meant to remain hidden. The protection that surrounded you is about to be revealed in a way that you can finally recognize. The interference that once clouded your path is beginning to lose its hold. Because a moment is approaching, a precise, divinely timed moment, when everything that was working against you will be forced to stop. And when that moment arrives, you will begin to see just how much has been done for you behind the scenes. Listen closely, because what you are about to understand may bring tears to your eyes, not from fear, but from the overwhelming realization that you were never as alone as you thought. There was a moment, one precise, divinely orchestrated moment, when everything could have gone in a completely different direction for you. A moment when the path ahead of you was being silently shaped, when unseen forces were pressing in, and when the outcome could have changed your life in ways you cannot even fully imagine. But in that very moment, heaven stepped in. You may not remember the exact second it happened. It could have been disguised as an ordinary day, a simple decision, a delay that frustrated you, or even a door that closed without explanation. At the time, it may have felt confusing, even disappointing. You may have questioned why things were not working out the way you hoped. You may have felt like something was being taken from you. But what if that moment was not a loss but a rescue? What if what you thought was a setback was actually divine protection in motion? There are events in your life that were redirected without your awareness. Situations where you were pulled away from danger without even realizing it. Paths that seemed promising but were quietly blocked because they carried consequences you were never meant to face. And in each of those moments, Archangel Michael was not distant. He was active. He was present. He was intervening with precision and authority. There was a turning point, and it has already happened. Something was stopped just in time. A connection that could have drained you further interrupted. A decision that could have led you into deeper confusion delayed. An opportunity that looked perfect on the surface removed from your reach. You may have grieved those moments. You may have questioned them. But now, you are beginning to see them differently. Because those moments were not working against you, they were working for you. Heaven saw what you could not see. While you were standing at the edge of uncertainty, wondering which direction to take, there was a higher perspective already guiding the outcome. There were details hidden from your understanding, outcomes you could not predict, and consequences you could not prepare for. But none of it escaped divine awareness. None of it would unnotice. And so, intervention became necessary. Archangel Michael stepped into that moment with the authority to shift outcomes, to block what needed to be blocked, and to preserve what needed to be protected. Not because you asked perfectly, not because you understood everything, but because your life carries purpose. Because your path holds meaning. Because you are not here by accident. You are preserved for a reason. Let that settle into your heart. You are still here not by chance, but by design. Every breath you take is evidence that something greater has been at work in your life. Every step you continue to walk is proof that you have been guided, even when you did not feel it. And now, the tone is shifting. What was once hidden is beginning to reveal itself. What once felt confusing is starting to make sense. The protection that surrounded you is no longer silent. It is becoming visible in your awareness. You are beginning to recognize the patterns, the interventions, the quiet redirections that have brought you to this exact moment. This is not just reflection. This is awakening. Because as you begin to understand what has already been done for you, something inside you starts to change. Fear begins to loosen its grip. Doubt begins to fade. And in its place, something stronger begins to rise. Trust. Trust that you are guided. Trust that you are protected. Trust that even when you cannot see the full picture, there is a divine hand shaping your path with precision and care. And this is only the beginning. Because the same power that stepped in before is still moving now. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you feel this truth settling into your spirit. Blessing code 3189 is now activated over your life. And as this protection continues to unfold, there is something even greater happening, something that requires your awareness, your alignment, and your participation. This message is not only meant to comfort you, but to awaken something within you that has been waiting for the right moment to rise. If you feel a stirring in your heart right now, if something within you is saying this is real, then hear this clearly. You are being invited into something sacred. Every word that reaches you carries light, and that light is meant to reach others too. I feel called to help this message reach the one who is still lost in the dark. If that is your heart speaking, then act on it. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is a living promise over your life. When you choose to give, you are not losing. You are sowing into a harvest of souls. You are becoming a vessel through which light travels further than you can see. There are PayPal links in the description, and even a QR code placed for you as a doorway to participate in this mission. Do not hesitate when your spirit is being called. This is a divine moment of alignment. As you give, may your life be filled with overflow, may doors open before you, and may the same protection that has carried you begin to multiply in every area of your life. Step into this now. There is something rising within you right now, a quiet realization that perhaps your life is not as ordinary as you once believed. That maybe, just maybe, everything you have gone through has not been random suffering but preparation. And that feeling you sense, that subtle shift in awareness, is not accidental. It is truth, beginning to surface, because you were chosen. Not chosen in the way the world defines it, not based on status, appearance, or achievements, but chosen in a deeper, spiritual sense. Chosen because of what is within you. Chosen because of what you carry. Chosen because your life holds a purpose that required protection at a level you are only now beginning to understand. You may have spent years questioning your worth. There were moments when you compared yourself to others, wondering why your path seemed more difficult, why your journey felt heavier, why things did not come easily to you. You may have even asked, in quiet frustration, why me? But what if the real question was never why me, but what is within me that required this kind of attention? Because not everyone is guarded the way you have been guarded. Not everyone is protected with this level of precision, this level of intervention, this level of unseen support. And that is not because you are better than anyone else. It is because your path is specific. Your assignment is unique. Your purpose carries weight, and anything that carries weight must be carefully handled. Think about your life again, but this time through a different lens. Look at the challenges you faced, the moments that tested your strength, the situations that forced you to grow even when you did not feel ready. Those were not punishments. They were preparation. Each experience was shaping something within you, building resilience, sharpening your awareness, strengthening your spirit. Even the pain had a purpose. Even the confusion was forming clarity. Even the delays were aligning timing. And through all of it, Archangel Michael remained present, not just as a protector from external forces, but as a guardian of your development. Because protection is not only about keeping harm away, it is also about ensuring that what is meant to grow within you is not destroyed before its time. There were things inside you that needed to mature. There were qualities within you that needed to be awakened. There was a strength in you that had to be revealed, and none of that could happen without the right conditions. This is why certain things were removed from your life. This is why certain paths were closed. This is why certain people could not stay. At the time, it may have felt like loss. It may have felt like rejection. It may have even felt like abandonment. But in truth, it was alignment. You were being guided away from what could not support who you are becoming. You were being protected from environments that would have diminished your growth. You were being separated from influences that could not carry you into your next level. This is what being chosen looks like, not always easy, not always comfortable, but always purposeful. And now, you are standing at a point where all of it begins to make sense. The patterns you once questioned are starting to connect. The experiences that once felt isolated are forming a bigger picture. You are beginning to see that your life has been carefully guided, even when it felt uncertain. You were never overlooked. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. Archangel Michael did not stand beside you without reason. His presence in your life is not random. It is intentional. It is assigned. It is part of a greater design that is still unfolding. And as you step deeper into this awareness, something within you begins to rise, a sense of identity that is no longer based on doubt, but on truth. You are not just someone trying to get through life. You are someone who has been guarded, guided, and shaped for a purpose that is still revealing itself. And now that you are beginning to understand this, the way you see yourself will never be the same again. Because once you recognize that you are chosen, you can no longer return to believing that you are ordinary. There is a reason why your journey has felt so confusing at times, why your thoughts have been clouded with doubt, and why your heart has carried questions that never seem to have clear answers. It is because, while truth has always been surrounding you, there were also voices, subtle, persistent voices, trying to shape your perception in a different direction. The world hath been speaking to you, but not always with truth. From an early point in your life, messages began to form around you. Some came from people, some came from experiences, and some came from moments that left emotional marks on your heart. These messages did not always arrive loudly. In fact, most of them came quietly, gradually embedding themselves into the way you see yourself. You are not enough. You are behind. You are alone. You have to figure everything out by yourself. These were not just passing thoughts. Over time, they began to feel like reality. They shaped how you responded to challenges, how you approached opportunities, and even how you viewed your own worth. You may not have realized it, but these beliefs started to influence your decisions, your confidence, and your expectations. But here is what you must understand now. Those were not truths. They were distortions. They were narratives that did not originate from divine intention, but from a place that thrives on limitation and doubt. Because when you begin to believe that you are not enough, you shrink. When you believe that you are alone, you disconnect. When you believe that you are unsupported, you stop expecting help. And when that happens, you begin to move through life with less confidence, less clarity, and less trust in what is possible for you. That is exactly what those false narratives were designed to do. They were meant to keep you small. They were meant to keep you uncertain. They were meant to keep you disconnected from the truth of who you really are. But something is changing now. As this message reaches you, those lies are beginning to lose their hold. The weight they carried is starting to lift. The influence they once had over your thoughts is weakening. And in their place, something far more powerful is beginning to emerge: truth. The truth is, you were never alone. Even in your quietest moments, when it felt like no one understood what you were going through, there was a presence beside you. A protector who never stepped away. A guide who never stopped watching over you. Archangel Michael has not only been defending you from unseen forces, but also standing against the very lies that tried to take root in your mind. Every time doubt tried to overwhelm you, there was resistance. Every time fear tried to convince you to give up, there was reinforcement. Every time you felt like you were falling apart, something within you held together, and that was not by accident. That was protection working from within. The truth is, you are supported in ways that go beyond what you can see. The truth is, you are more than enough for the path you are walking. The truth is, your life is not random, it is guided. And the truth is, you have never been forgotten. But the world does not easily release its grip. Those old thoughts may try to return. Those familiar doubts may attempt to resurface. You may hear those whispers again, trying to pull you back into old patterns of thinking. When that happens, you must recognize them for what they are. They are echoes of something that is no longer aligned with you. They are remnants of a perspective that you are now outgrowing. They are not your truth anymore. You are stepping into a different awareness now, one that is rooted in clarity rather than confusion, in confidence rather than doubt, and in truth rather than distortion. And as you continue forward, something powerful begins to take shape. Because once the lies are exposed, they lose their power. And once the truth is embraced, it begins to transform everything. The way you see yourself changes. The way you respond to challenges shifts. The way you move through life becomes more aligned, more steady, more grounded. You are no longer operating from fear. You are beginning to operate from understanding. And this is where everything starts to turn. Because now that the lies are being removed, something else is about to be spoken over you, something that carries authority, something that carries power, something that cannot be undone. A declaration is forming. A voice is rising. And what is about to be spoken next will not just comfort you. It will establish something unshakable within you. Right now, something powerful is unfolding in this very moment, not in the distant future, not at some undefined time, but now. This is the moment where words are no longer just thoughts, where truth is no longer just understood, but spoken with authority over your life. Because Archangel Michael is not silent. He is not distant. He is not passive. He is declaring something over you. And when a declaration is made from a place of divine authority, it does not return empty. It establishes, it protects, it seals, and it shifts everything it touches. So hear this, not as ordinary words, but as a living decree being released into your life. You are protected. Not in a fragile, uncertain way, but in a way that cannot be easily broken, shaken, or undone. There is a covering over you that extends beyond what you can see. A shield that stands between you and what was never meant to reach you. Even when you walk through uncertain situations, even when you step into unknown territory, you are not exposed. You are guarded. No force that rises against you carries greater authority than what stands with you. Let that truth settle deeply within your spirit. There have been attempts to weaken you. Moments where fear tried to rise, where doubt tried to take hold, where circumstances tried to convince you that you were vulnerable. But those moments did not define you, and they did not overcome you. Because protection has always been present, and it continues now. Archangel Michael speaks over your path, declaring that what is not aligned with your purpose will not prevail. What is meant to harm you will not succeed. What is meant to distract you will not take hold. There is a line drawn around your life, a boundary that cannot be crossed without permission that has not been given. You are not unguarded. You are not exposed. You are covered. And as this declaration moves over your life, it does something deeper than just protect. It restores confidence. It rebuilds what fear tried to break. It strengthens what doubt tried to weaken. Because protection is not only about what is kept away from you, it is also about what is reinforced within you. You are not fragile. You are not easily shaken. You are not someone who is left to face everything alone. There is strength within you that is rising now. Strength that comes from knowing that you are backed by something greater than your circumstances. And that strength begins to change how you move. You no longer approach life from a place of fear, but from a place of awareness. You begin to walk differently, think differently, respond differently. Situations that once felt overwhelming begin to lose their intensity because you are no longer facing them with the same mindset. You are beginning to understand that you are not standing alone. And this awareness brings a quiet but powerful shift. Where there was hesitation, there is now steadiness. Where there was doubt, there is now clarity. Where there was fear, there is now a sense of calm authority. Because once protection is recognized, fear begins to lose its voice. And Archangel Michael continues to speak. There is protection over your mind. No thought that seeks to destroy your peace will have the final say. There is protection over your heart. No emotional wound will define your future. There is protection over your path. No wrong turn will take you away from what is truly meant for you. Even when you cannot see the full picture, even when things do not make immediate sense, the declaration still stands. You are protected, and not just for a moment, not just for a season, but continuously. This is not temporary. This is not conditional. This is established. Let this truth anchor you, because as you move forward from here, something begins to shift in the way life responds to you. The same situations may appear, but they no longer carry the same weight. The same challenges may arise, but they no longer feel overwhelming. Because now, you know something you did not fully grasp before. You know that you are covered. And from that place of knowing, everything begins to change. But this is only one part of what is being released over you. Because protection is not the only thing that has been spoken. There is something else already set in motion. Something that hath been prepared, something that hath been held for the right moment, something that is now beginning to unfold. Provision. And what is about to be revealed next will show you that not only are you protected, you are also provided for in ways you have yet to fully see. There is something you must see now, something that has been quietly unfolding beneath the surface of your life while you were focused on what seemed missing, delayed, or uncertain. You have been looking ahead, wondering when things will finally come together, when the right opportunity will appear, when the breakthrough will arrive. But what if the truth is this? What you have been waiting for has already been set in motion. Provision has already been released. Not in a way that is always immediately visible, not in a form that always arrives on your timeline, but in a way that is precise, intentional, and aligned with your path. There are things being arranged for you right now, details coming into place, connections forming, doors preparing to open, long before you even step into them. You may have felt at times like you were lacking, like something was missing, like you were falling behind. You may have compared your journey to others, wondering why things seemed to flow for them while you faced delays. But those delays were not signs of absence. They were signs of alignment. Because what is meant for you cannot arrive out of time. There is a rhythm to your life, a divine timing that does not always match your expectations, but always serves your purpose. And within that timing, provision is never forgotten. It is never withheld without reason. It is never lost. It is positioned. Think about the moments when something came into your life at exactly the right time. Not early, not late, but precisely when you needed it. It could have been a person, an idea, an opportunity, or even a moment of clarity that shifted your perspective. Those were not random occurrences. Those were glimpses of how provision works in your life. It arrives with purpose. And even now, there are things being prepared for you that you cannot yet see. Paths that are being cleared, obstacles that are being removed, resources that are being aligned. Archangel Michael is not only guarding you from what is not meant for you, but also ensuring that what is meant for you reaches you in the right way. This is why certain things have not happened yet. Not because they will never happen, but because they are being prepared properly. Because if they arrived too early, they would not serve you in the way they are meant to. If they came before you were ready, they could overwhelm you rather than elevate you. You are not being denied. You are being prepared. And what is being prepared for you carries weight. It is not something small or insignificant. It is something that requires alignment, readiness, and the right conditions to fully unfold. This is why your journey has included growth, challenges, and moments that stretched you beyond your comfort zone. All of it hath been shaping you into someone who can receive what is coming. Because provision is not only about what is given, it is also about who receives it. And you are becoming ready. There are doors ahead of you that are not locked. They are simply waiting for the right moment to open. There are opportunities that are not gone. They are being positioned to meet you at the right point in your path. There are answers that are not hidden. They are being revealed step by step as you continue forward. Nothing that is meant for you has been lost. Nothing that is meant for you had been forgotten. Nothing that is meant for you has been given to someone else. It is still yours. And as this truth settles within you, something begins to shift. The feeling of lack begins to dissolve. The urgency begins to soften. The pressure begins to lift. Because you are no longer chasing something that is already being arranged. You are no longer striving in uncertainty. You are moving in trust. And from that place of trust, your perspective begins to change. You start to notice things you did not notice before. Small signs, subtle shifts, quiet confirmations that something is indeed unfolding. You begin to see that even now, things are moving in your favor. Even now, provision is working its way toward you. And this realization brings a sense of calm, a steady confidence that replaces the need to force, to rush, or to worry. Because you understand something deeper now, that you are not only protected, but also provided for. And as powerful as that truth is, there is something even more profound that is about to be revealed. Because beyond protection, beyond provision, there is something that cannot be measured, cannot be earned, and cannot be taken away. Something that has been with you from the beginning. Love. And what you are about to understand next will change the way you see yourself forever. There is a truth that goes deeper than protection, deeper than provision, deeper than anything you have experienced so far, and it is this. You are loved in a way that cannot be broken, cannot be reduced, and cannot be taken from you. This is not a temporary feeling. This is not something that changes based on your circumstances. This is something constant, something eternal, something that has been surrounding you even when you did not recognize it. You may have questioned love before. You may have experienced moments where love felt conditional, where it seemed tied to performance, to approval, to expectations that were never fully explained. You may have given your heart in places where it was not fully received, or where it was misunderstood. And because of that, a part of you may have learned to be cautious, to hold back, to protect yourself from disappointment. But what you are being shown now is completely different. This love does not depend on what you do. It does not increase when you succeed or decrease when you struggle. It does not withdraw when you feel weak or uncertain. It remains. Archangel Michael stands not only as a protector and a warrior, but also as a witness to this love that has been present in your life from the very beginning. A love that has not abandoned you in your lowest moments. A love that has not turned away when you felt lost. A love that has remained steady, even when everything around you felt unstable. This is the love that has carried you, even in moments when you felt empty, when you felt disconnected, when you wondered if anyone truly understood you. This love was still there, quiet, patient, waiting for you to recognize it. And now, you are beginning to feel it, not as an idea, but as something real. Something that touches your heart in a way that words cannot fully explain. Because this love is not distant. It is near. It is present. It is within reach. And once you begin to recognize it, something within you starts to heal. The parts of you that once felt rejected begin to soften. The areas where you held pain begin to release. The walls you built to protect yourself begin to lower, not out of weakness, but out of trust. Because you are no longer guarding yourself against loss, you are opening yourself to something that cannot be lost. This love does not leave. This love does not fade. This love does not fail. And the more you allow yourself to receive it, the more it begins to transform the way you see yourself. You begin to understand that you are not defined by past experiences, not limited by what others have said or done, not shaped by the moments that once made you question your worth. You are defined by something greater. You are defined by a love that sees you completely and still chooses you. A love that knows every part of you and still remains. A love that does not require you to become someone else, but meets you exactly where you are. And in that realization, something powerful happens. You begin to feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, deeply within yourself. A sense of peace starts to settle in, a quiet assurance that you are held, that you are seen, that you are not navigating life alone. This is what changes everything. Because once you truly understand that you are loved in this way, fear begins to lose its hold. The need for constant validation begins to fade. The pressure to prove yourself begins to dissolve. You no longer need to chase what you already have. You no longer need to search for what has never left. You are already within it. And as this truth settles into your heart, it prepares you for something even deeper, something that will anchor this love within you in a way that cannot be shaken. A seal, a mark, a confirmation that what has been spoken over you is not temporary, but established. Type "I am loved beyond measure" in the comments if you receive this truth. Blessing code 5521 is now activated over your heart. And as this love settles into you, let this moment become more than just understanding. Let it become movement. I feel led to help carry this love to someone who has forgotten it. If that thought is rising within you, that is not coincidence, that is calling. The word says, "Whoever sows generously will also reap generously," and this is your moment to sow light into someone else's darkness. When you give, you are not just offering support. You are releasing streams of living water into places that are dry, into hearts that are waiting. There are PayPal links placed in the description, and a QR code made available for you to step into this flow. This is not about obligation. This is about alignment with what is being stirred inside you right now. As you release your seed, may your life be met with overflow. May doors open that no one can close. May peace settle over you in ways you have never known before. Step into this act now, and let your giving become a reflection of the love you have just received. Here is a sacred moment unfolding within you right now, something deeper than emotion, stronger than thought, and more lasting than anything you have experienced before. It is not just a feeling, it is a marking. A quiet but powerful sealing that is taking place over your heart, over your spirit, over the very core of who you are. This is not symbolic. This is real. Because when something is sealed by divine authority, it is not meant to be broken, reversed, or undone. It becomes established. It becomes protected. It becomes set apart from anything that would try to interfere with it. And that is what is happening to you now. All that has been spoken over you, protection, provision, love, is no longer just something you hear. It is becoming something that is embedded within you. Something that cannot be easily shaken by circumstances, by opinions, or by temporary moments of doubt. Your heart is being sealed. There were times when your heart felt open in a way that left you vulnerable. Times when you trusted and were disappointed. Times when you gave and felt like it was not returned. Times when your emotions were influenced by what others said or did. Those experiences left marks, shaping how you guarded yourself, how you responded, how you protected your inner world. But now, something is changing. This seal is not closing your heart. It is strengthening it. It is not removing your ability to feel. It is protecting your ability to feel without being broken. It is not isolating you. It is securing you. Because a sealed heart is not a hardened heart. It is a protected heart. A heart that is no longer easily shaken by external forces. A heart that carries peace even when circumstances shift. A heart that knows its worth, its value, and its connection to something greater. Archangel Michael stands as a witness to this sealing, ensuring that what is being established within you is not disturbed. There is a boundary being placed, not to limit you, but to guard you. A line that ensures that what enters your heart aligns with truth, with purpose, with a love that has already been placed within you. No longer will every voice have access to your thoughts. No longer will every situation have control over your emotions. No longer will every opinion shape how you see yourself. Because now, there is a filter, a spiritual boundary that discerns what belongs and what does not. And this changes everything. You begin to notice it in subtle ways. Situations that once affected you deeply begin to lose their impact. Words that once would have stayed in your mind begin to pass without taking root. Emotions that once felt overwhelming begin to settle more quickly. Not because you are becoming distant, but because you are becoming grounded. This is what the seal does. It anchors you. It stabilizes you. It protects the truth that has been placed within you from being overwritten by temporary circumstances. And as the sealing continues, something else begins to rise, a quiet confidence that does not need constant reassurance, a peace that does not depend on everything being perfect, a strength that is not loud but steady and unshakable. You begin to trust yourself more. You begin to trust your path more. You begin to trust what you feel, what you sense, what you know within. Because your heart is no longer operating from past wounds. It is operating from present truth. And that truth is protected. Nothing that is not aligned with you will be allowed to remain within you. Nothing that is meant to disturb your peace will be given permission to take root. Nothing that contradicts the love, the protection, and the provision spoken over you will be allowed to override it. This is what it means to be sealed. It is not something that can be seen with physical eyes, but it is something that can be felt deeply. A shift in how you carry yourself. A change in how you respond. A new awareness of what belongs in your life and what does not. You are no longer open to everything. You are aligned with what is true. And this alignment begins to shape your future. Because once your heart is sealed, your path becomes clear. Your decisions become more aligned. Your direction becomes more steady. You are no longer pulled in different directions by every influence. You are guided by something consistent, something rooted, something protected. And as this takes hold within you, you begin to step into a new phase. A phase where life does not feel like something you are reacting to, but something you are moving through with awareness, with confidence, with purpose. Because now, you are not just protected around you. You are protected within you. And that changes the way everything unfolds from here. Something has shifted. Not in a loud, dramatic way that demands immediate attention, but in a quiet, undeniable way that begins deep within you and slowly moves outward into every area of your life. It is the kind of shift that you may not fully recognize at first, but you will begin to notice it in how you feel, how you think, and how you respond to the world around you. Because from this moment forward you are not the same. You cannot return to the version of yourself who doubted everything, who questioned your worth, who felt unprotected and uncertain. That version of you existed in a space where truth had not yet fully settled in. But now, you have seen something different. You have felt something real. You have understood something that cannot be undone. And once truth is recognized, it changes everything. You begin to move differently. Situations that once made you anxious begin to feel more manageable. not because they have disappeared, but because your perspective has changed. You are no longer approaching them from fear, but from awareness. You know now that you are protected, that you are guided, that you are not facing anything alone. And that knowledge creates stability. You begin to notice that your reactions are different. Where you once felt overwhelmed, you now feel grounded. Where you once rushed into decisions, you now pause with clarity. Where you once sought validation from others, you now find a quiet assurance within yourself. This is not accidental. This is the result of everything that has been established within you. The protection that was declared over you begins to influence how you walk through uncertainty. You are no longer easily shaken by what happens around you, because you know that there is something greater surrounding you. Even when challenges arise, there is a calmness that remains, a steady presence that reminds you that you are covered. The provision that has been released begins to show itself in subtle but undeniable ways. Opportunities begin to appear where there were none before. Solutions begin to come to you without forcing them. Connections begin to form naturally. It may not all happen at once, but you will see it unfolding step by step. And when it does, you will recognize it. Because you are no longer looking at life from a place of lack. You are seeing it from a place of expectation. You are beginning to expect alignment. You are beginning to expect doors to open. You are beginning to expect things to work in your favor, not out of arrogance, but out of understanding. Because you now know that provision is part of your path. And then, there is the love that has settled into your heart. That love changes how you see yourself. It removes the need to constantly prove your worth. It frees you from the pressure of trying to be accepted by everyone. It allows you to stand in who you are without fear of rejection, because you are no longer seeking something you already possess. You are already loved, and that realization creates freedom. You begin to express yourself more authentically. You begin to trust your instincts more deeply. You begin to release the need to hold on to what does not align with you, because you are no longer afraid of losing something that was never meant for you. This is transformation. Not forced, not rushed, but natural. It flows from within you outward, shaping your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, and your direction. And perhaps one of the most powerful changes is this: you begin to feel a sense of authority over your life. Not control in the sense of forcing outcomes, but authority in the sense of knowing who you are and what belongs in your life. You are no longer easily influenced by every opinion, every situation, every external pressure. You are guided from within, anchored in something that is steady and true. This is what happens when truth, protection, provision, and love come together. They create alignment, and alignment changes everything. You will still face moments of uncertainty. You will still encounter challenges, but you will not face them as the same person you once were. You will face them with a different awareness, a different strength, and a different foundation. You will face them knowing that you are not alone, and that knowing becomes your power. Because once you step into this awareness, life is no longer something that happens to you. It becomes something that unfolds with you, something that responds to the truth you carry within. And now, you are approaching something even more sacred, a moment that requires your full attention, a moment where everything that has been spoken, everything that has been established, everything that has been revealed is about to come together in one final declaration. A decree that will not just remind you of who you are, but will seal it completely. Be still for a moment. Not just physically, but within your mind, within your thoughts, within the quiet space of your heart. Because what is about to unfold is not something to rush through. It is not something to hear casually. It is something to receive. You have been led step by step to this exact point. Every realization, every shift, every truth that has settled within you has been preparing you for this moment. And now, there is a sacred stillness forming, a pause before something powerful is spoken, something that will not simply pass through you, but will remain with you. This is the moment of preparation. You may feel a subtle calm coming over you, a quiet awareness that this is different from anything before. It is not just another message, not just another thought. It is something deeper, something that requires your presence, your attention, your openness. So let go of everything that is pulling at your mind. Let go of the distractions. Let go of the doubts that try to rise. Let go of the need to analyze or question. This is not a moment to understand with your mind. It is a moment to receive with your spirit. Because a decree is not just information. It is activation. It is something that settles into you and begins to shape what comes next. Archangel Michael stands in this moment, not as a distant figure, but as a present authority, ready to release something over your life that carries weight, that carries power, that carries permanence. And before those words are spoken, there is an invitation for you to align yourself fully with what is about to be declared. This alignment does not require perfection. It does not require that you have everything figured out. It only requires openness, a willingness to receive, a readiness to allow something greater than your current understanding to enter into your life. And as you sit in this stillness, something begins to happen. The noise that once filled your mind begins to quiet. The tension that once sat in your body begins to ease. The restlessness that once pushed you to keep moving begins to slow down. You are entering a space where clarity can settle, where truth can anchor, where something lasting can take hold. This is where transformation deepens. Not in chaos, not in distraction, but in stillness. Because stillness creates space. And in that space, something new could be established. Think about everything you have just come through. The awareness of protection, the understanding of provision, the realization of love, the sealing of your heart. All of it has been leading you here, building layer upon layer of truth within you so that when this final declaration is spoken, it does not fall on uncertainty. It falls on readiness. You are ready to hear it. You are ready to receive it. You are ready to carry it forward. And as this readiness settles within you, something else becomes clear. You are not the same person who began this journey. There had been a shift, a quiet but undeniable transformation in how you see yourself, how you feel, how you understand your place in this world. You are no longer searching for answers in the same way. You are no longer questioning your worth in the same way. You are no longer moving through life with the same uncertainty. You have been anchored, and now you are positioned to receive something that will not just comfort you but establish something permanent within you. This is why this moment requires stillness, because what is about to be spoken is not meant to be rushed past. It is meant to be felt, to be absorbed, to be carried with you beyond this moment. So take a breath. Allow yourself to be fully present. Let every part of you become aware that this is a sacred transition, because what comes next is not just words. It is a decree that will settle over your life, over your heart, over your path. A decree that will remind you, in a way that cannot be shaken, that no matter what the world says, no matter what circumstances look like, no matter what voices try to rise, you are safe, you are provided for, and you are eternally loved. And once it is spoken, it will remain. My beloved, this is the moment everything has been leading toward. All the stillness you just entered, all the truth that has been placed within you, all the preparation. that has unfolded, it now comes together in one sacred release. This is not just a conclusion. It is a sealing. A final, powerful decree that carries authority beyond anything that has tried to speak over your life before. So receive this not with doubt, not with hesitation, but with openness. Archangel Michael now stands in divine authority and declares over your life, you are safe. Not conditionally, not temporarily, not based on circumstances, but completely. There is a covering over you that cannot be broken. No force, no voice, no unseen opposition carries the authority to override what has been established over you. You will walk through situations that once felt uncertain, and you will realize that you are not exposed, you are shielded. Even when things around you shift, you will remain steady, because your safety is not dependent on the world. It is anchored in something higher. You are provided for. Every need that has caused you to worry, every question that has made you wonder how will this work out, it is already known. It is already seen. And it is already being aligned. You will not be left without what you need. What is yours will find you. What is meant for you will reach you. Doors will open in ways you did not expect. Paths will clear in ways you could not predict. And you will begin to see that provision was never absent. It was simply waiting for the right moment to appear. And you are eternally loved. Not by something distant, not by something temporary, but by a love that has never left you and never will. A love that remains when everything else fades. A love that does not change when you struggle, when you question, or when you feel uncertain. This love is constant, is steady, is yours, and it will continue to surround you, guide you, and anchor you in every moment that follows. This is the decree, and it is done. Let it settle into you now. Let it move through your thoughts, your emotions, your spirit. Let it replace every lie that once tried to take root. Let it silence every doubt that once tried to rise. Let it become the foundation you stand on moving forward. Because from this moment on, you do not walk as someone uncertain. You walk as someone covered. You walk as someone provided for. You walk as someone deeply and eternally loved. And as you move forward, you will begin to notice something, a quiet peace that follows you. A calm that does not depend on everything being perfect. A confidence that does not need to prove itself. That is the decree living within you. You are no longer searching. You are resting in truth. You are no longer striving. You are moving in alignment. You are no longer questioning if you are alone. You know that you are accompanied, protected, and guided. Carry this with you. Return to it when your mind tries to wander. Tend on it when situations try to challenge you. Because this is not something that fades. This is something that remains. Type IT is sealed in the comments if you receive this decree. Blessing code 9090 is now activated over your life. And as this decree settles into your spirit, let your next step become an extension of it. I feel called to help carry this protection, this provision, and this love to someone who has not yet heard it. If that is stirring within you, that is not a feeling. It is a divine invitation. The word speaks, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days, and right now, you are being positioned to release something that will return as a harvest of transformed lives. When you give, you are not supporting a channel, you are opening a river of truth, of light, of healing that flows into hearts that are still waiting in silence. The PayPal link in the description and the QR code placed before you are not just tools. They are gateways into obedience, into impact, into something eternal. As you sow into this moment, may your life be marked by overflow. May protection surround you even more deeply. May provision meet you ahead of time. May love anchor you in every step you take. Do not delay this response. Step into it now, and let your giving become a living echo of the decree you have just received.